on day 1, did you guys notice that graphing inequalities was really, really similar to graphing any parabola, any quadratic parabola? So the main thing you had to figure out is, do you have a solid line or do you have a dashed line? Okay, so you had different cases. All right, Evan, if it's solid, what would we see in the inequality? Good. Yeah, or less than or equal to. Okay, and then Ananya, if it's dashed, what would it be? Yeah, greater than or less than. Looks like a happy and a sad jack-o'-lantern over here. Okay, so yeah, so you either have a solid or dashed. From there, it's the same thing as graphing a parabola, right? All you have to do is find your vertex, opposite of b over 2a, make your table, and what did I say you could use for your table? Yeah, your graphing calculator. Okay, so you can use your table once you know what the middle is. Okay, you can go 2 up and 2 down, that's fine. You just have to check the solid or dashed. And then the other new thing is our test point. So the most common test point that we use is what? 0, 0. We don't have to use 0, 0. It's just one of the simplest ones to plug in. Okay, so that's why we're using 0, 0. Once you plug in 0 for x and 0 for y, you just have to analyze the statement. You just ask yourself, is 0 greater than or equal to 10? If the answer is no, put a slash, it's false. Okay, so if it's false, if 0, 0 is on the outside, you have to shade the other part. So we would shade inside for that. And then another part that maybe you were feeling unsure about is when you're given an equation that looks like this. When you have x minus 2 times x plus 5, we gave the directions to FOIL. Do we remember how to FOIL? Yeah. Okay, so once you FOIL, it looks exactly like the original problem. So FOIL stands for first outer, inner last. X times x is x squared. Negative 2x minus 5 is negative 7x. Negative times a negative is a positive. And then look, doesn't this look just like part A? Yep. It's just another way to write it. Okay, so you can FOIL and then do all the same steps. Okay? All right, and then we're going to check. I just want us to check this part as well. So for part B, you had a greater than, which is why this should be dashed, so make sure that you use dash. When I did the test point for this one, it was true. 0 is bigger than negative 7. So if it's true, I have to shade where 0, 0 is. And 0, 0 is outside of the parabola, so I'm going to shade the region outside. The reason you have to shade is for inequalities. Any of these points can be solutions. If you just have a regular parabola, it's only points on the parabola that make it up. But this has so much more, okay? Yes?
Like, on the homework, there was one where 0, 0 was part of the parabola.
Yes, exactly. So there's the only case where you can't use 0, 0 is like Adam said, if it's on the parabola, okay? So then you just pick any other point that you want to. It just can't be one of the points that are in your table, okay? Good question. All right, now I want you to look at the last one. So when I was at home, I had access to some of my files, but not all of my files. And you guys have this on your paper, right? That y is less than. That y is less than here, okay? But I think the one that I had that I posted for you said greater than. Did you guys change that? Yeah. Did you change it here? Okay, so then is yours shaded on the outside then? Okay, so what I did is I had noticed that all the ones I did were greater than, and I wanted to show you one was less than. So if you changed it already, don't worry about it. It's the same process. I just wanted to show you if it's less than, that doesn't necessarily mean like you're shading outside or inside it. It just depends on where 0, 0 is. Notice with this one, though, it was in vertex form. So I didn't have to use the opposite of b over 2a because I could pick the vertex out right away. Put that in the middle of my table. Use my graphing calculator to find 2 up and 2 down. Why do we do that? Why do we find the 2 up and 2 down from the vertex? Why don't I just let you do any old one that you want to? What am I trying to help you do?
Well, the parabola.
Yeah, the parabola has 2 sides, right? Has a left side, it has a right side. They're symmetric. That's why we put the vertex in the center, so we can see what happens on the left and happens on the right. If not, you might not get the full U. You only might get part of the U. And then that's a little bit confusing. Okay, so like I said, I switched this sign. So when I did my test point, I ended up with 0 is less than negative 17, which was false. And that's why in my example here, I shaded it inside. Okay? So I am going to like post this one on Google Classroom for you. Okay? And then, so you don't want to shade 0, 0. So if you don't want to shade 0, 0 and 0, 0 is outside, you're going to be shading the inside. Okay? Questions for me on the 2.7 day 1? All right, so now we're going to look at 2.7 day 2.